This is part 4 of homework 0, working with UV. So UV is a package manager for Python. So we will be installing that and going through some steps. Um, so I'm already at the URL that is in the homework guide and just going through the tutorial listed. We can go to the getting started. So we'll be going over the installation to UV, some first steps after installation, an overview of the features, and then we'll briefly look at how to get help. So I'm on a Windows machine, so we'll be installing for Windows, and we will be doing the standalone installer. So we'll go to the command line in Windows. We'll copy this, and then we're not going to request a specific version. So let's go to the command line in Windows. Okay. And UV is installed. So we have UV in this directory here. Let's see, it's an executable, so we will run the UV executable. And so the other installation, these are for specific package managers, but we will ignore those. So we already did the standalone installer. There's some upgrade commands. We'll just, should be up to date, but just make sure it's working. Yeah. So that is it for the installation part. So if we go back, we'll go to first steps after installation. So we can check that it's running. Yeah, we know it's running. So here are the various commands. These are the various options. So you should see a help menu listing the available commands. We do. So we've confirmed that it's installed. So this is just an overview. So the features, we'll briefly just go through that. So it is showing the available Python version so that we see the version 3.12.7. Um, we could install. That's just showing an installed version. So we can try to install the version 3.13.1. Go back to list. It shows we have two versions of Python now installed, 3.13.1 and 3.12.7. Those are the two installed versions. So these are projects. So working on Python projects, running scripts. These are just various commands we can use to run a script. Um, and here's the pip interface. So managing the environments and packages. Um, so we'll create a new virtual environment. We already have a managed Python version installed. So let's do UV, V and V. So we've created the new virtual environment. And these are just some utilities. So we have this website as a reference. We can come back to it. I'm gonna move on to the next part in the getting started. So how to get help. So these are help menus. So we can just help menu. So as you can see, it's the same as before. So this is the longer list, the longer help list. Okay. So the next part, we've part four then is to go to the guides. So here we'll go to guides and we have installing Python. So we've already done that. We installed a specific version with UV Manager that was 13.1 or 3.13.1, excuse me. So we followed this type of syntax. And we've already gone through the UV Python list. I just did that. Um, so we created a virtual environment. And it'll use that version of Python we downloaded. So running scripts. So these are running scripts without dependencies. And we'll do running a script with dependencies. So these are also in the lecture slides. I believe the print hello world examples provided using example. And then the chapter one slides, excuse me, they also have a example with dependency as well. So we'll run that. We'll create these two scripts and then we will run them. Okay, so I created two empty scripts. Can do our examples with. So we will do these in the editor. So the first one's just a simple hello world. And this is in line with lecture one sheets. Um, this is also it follows the documentation um, here. So for the example with dependencies, we're going to copy this. This is the same script that is also in the lecture one slides. So we'll save it. Okay. So this is without dependencies. This is the hello world script. So run, and that was example one. There we go. Hello world. And for running a Python script, so that was without dependencies, and now this is the running script with dependencies. So this is ours was called example two. And we're going to use the request the dependency using the with option. That is also in the same as the lecture one slides. So run with 2.5. Oh, so I forgot the word rich. So okay, as you can see in the first execution of it, installed those four packages, um, and then they were installed. And then the second time I executed it, it just conducted this. It just executed the script according to what we had written here. So it in probably it installed the time, whatever this library is, and then any dependencies that library required. So moving along, that was running scripts. And there's more in the documentation. I'm not going to go through every piece of it currently. I will review it. But it's here. I have it for reference. Um, in terms of running scripts through UV. So the next was running and installing applications as tools, I believe. So tools can be invoked without installation. Using the UVX, which we have. So again, we have this for reference later on in the course if we need to run tools and use tools in the UV environment. So this was working on projects. So it supports managing Python projects along with their dependencies, or I'm sorry, which define their dependencies is pyproject.toml. And earlier we saw this, and we definitely saw in the help, um, how to create a new project. When the commands will be needed to create a new project. So this gives an overview of the project structure. After a new one is created, this is the virtual environment, managing dependencies, running commands. So it's sort of this sort of integrates all these other steps we had looked at. And then integrating UV with other software, I don't think we're currently going to be doing that. So, and that section is not listed here in the homework prompt. So, I believe that's all for part 4 of homework 0. It shows the UV is installed, and I've gone through the tutorial. So I'm gonna stop the recording now, and this will be uploaded to YouTube, and the URL will be included in the homework submission document. Thanks.